This is a old Roadrunner comic book here. Beep Beep the Roadrunner. This one's not in the greatest condition in the world. As you can see, it's kind of brittle. Pieces missing off of it. Be careful with this one. The inside cover's got a little story here. Wile E. Coyote, his nemesis. This is from this is number 13 from 1962. It says. So that's I forget how old that would be. Let's see. Do the math. There's a UFO story here. If I'm going too fast with this camera here, you can use your pause button on YouTube and read this thing if you'd like. It's kind of cool. I have a bunch of comic books that I've acquired. I've been selling them. Sold this one on eBay also. So just for the heck of it, I got this other little hobby. I started filming every single comic book that I sell just for the hell of it. So I keep a little record. I don't know how long YouTube will be around, but I always wondered that all the video content on YouTube, such as this, how long will it be around? Because that's one of the reasons why I was filming these things, is to keep a little record of these comics. It's kind of cool, but we'll see. I guess I could convert all of these videos to DVD and save them for myself, but I haven't been doing that. So what I kind of like about the digital age, you can save all of this stuff. Even the new comic books are being put out in digital format instead of, same as with newspapers and books. The future of comic books may be a digital format. So when you collect comic books, they take up so much damn space. It's amazing. There's some hardcore guys. Shit, if you buy 20, 30 titles a month, if you could afford to, since they're $3 a piece now, I don't know, how would you have room for all those comic books? Because everybody saves their comic books now. Back in the old days, you just read them and throw them away or trade them to somebody, but now, since everybody collects them, which is a good thing, but if I was buying new comic books every month, which I used to, I hadn't done that in years, they start accumulating so quickly, you run out of room. Especially if you live in a one-bedroom apartment. There's not any room for these damn comic books. You have to buy a warehouse to store your comic books. Rent a storage facility, which some people do. these comics here, they're almost more like a comic strip. The panels and everything are more traditionally like a comic strip here, as opposed to a traditional comic book, the way this comic is drawn. So all you people out there who may be watching this, if I'm getting on your nerves with my talking, you can turn the volume down and read this thing if you wanted. But there's a few of the ones I've done. I wanted to listen to some podcasts, so if you want to if you run across one of those videos I've done, if you're interested, you can turn the volume down, because this can be kind of time consuming when you have a lot of comic books. I'm filming all of them. Sometimes I run out of time to do other things I want to do, so like listen to my podcasts. So I was trying to kill two birds with one stone, so to speak. Well, another interesting thing, I haven't read this comic book. So a lot of the older ones too I've done, I'll be making commentary about the story and art and stuff, but this is all new to me. I hadn't read this one. That's another reason why I'm filming these, is because since I'm selling these on eBay at such a fast rate, I don't have time to read them, the ones I haven't read. So if I want to read these, I can go back later and read them here on YouTube. Just use my pause button if I'm going too fast to read. But another interesting thing about the comic book industry, is like the price guide. If you ever try to sell any of your comic books, you'll probably find this out, especially on eBay. They don't ever sell for what the price guide claims they're worth, hardly ever. There's some, if it's a key issue, if you got a Superman #1 or Spider-Man #1, of course it's going to sell for price guide, maybe even over price guide. But just your average run-of-the-mill comic books, most of them don't sell anywhere near the guide, usually 50% below. I've had a few horror comics that actually sold at guide and above guide, and a few romance comics. This particular collection I'm selling right now, I don't have that many superhero titles. Like I would guess those are the best selling ones, but like the war comics, those are practically worthless, really. I mean, unless you got a key issue like the first appearance of Sergeant Rock or something. There's a lot of these I have a lot of Golden Age war comics I'm trying to sell, and you're lucky if you can sell them for 75% below guide value. So anybody out there who has any interest in war comic books, hell, you can probably get those cheap on eBay. They got some kind of statement here. They got a little Porky Pig and Miss Porky Pig story. What's her name? Petunia. When I was reading, the reason they put these stories in here, these written stories, is due to postal regulations. They didn't qualify for a cheaper postage rate unless you had at least one page of written material like this. So that's an interesting part of comic book history. A lot of people don't know. Of course, most people, most comic book collectors never read those things. I wouldn't think. But I enjoyed comic books when I was younger. I collected them a lot, but I kind of like them now as collectibles and as a piece of history, a piece that's an insight into pop culture. You can read these comics, like this one's from 1962. There's different attitudes, different views of the world than what there are in 2010. then as I gotten older, I kind of lost interest in comic books to a certain extent. I liked them better when I was younger. You mature a little bit. Like to read something a little bit more substantial. Of course, a lot of the newer comic books are they're more adult oriented, like the Alan Moore and stuff like that. But it's still at the same level. You'd much rather read a piece of literature. Read some, I don't know, read Lolita or read William Faulkner or anything, as opposed to just reading comic books. These comic books are such a visual medium. It's almost like movies. In a way, the movies have become the new comic books. That's why they've adopted so many comic books into movies. It's like a natural marriage, really, because with all the special effects now, they finally are able to make the comic books movies that are the same way they're written in the comics. They got so many comic book superhero movies coming out, it's almost ridiculous, really. It's like overkill, really. If I would have been a young person, like 12 years old when all these comic book movies came out, I'd be like in heaven. But as I've gotten older, I'm not quite as thrilled with them as I used to be. Green Lantern's coming out next. Green Hornet. Avengers, Captain America, Thor. Wonder Woman's supposed to have a new TV show. So we'll see. I don't know what they're going to do with Batman. The next film is supposed to be the last one, I think. So I think a new Batman TV show would be interesting. Make it a new TV show. I like the old TV show too, by the way, the Adam West one, even though it's campy, but it's actually entertaining as hell. It's funny. I enjoy it. The new movies are okay with the Dark Knight and everything, but I don't know, somehow they lost some of the magic. It's almost too realistic. It's too gritty, I guess. Plus, Gotham City and these in the Dark Knight and Batman Returns doesn't resemble Gotham City of the comic books whatsoever. It's more like it looks like they filmed it in Chicago or Illinois, and I think you even see Illinois license plates in the film. Like, they don't even make an attempt to cover it up. Of course, in the comic books, I don't think they ever tell you what state Gotham City is in. If anybody knows, let me know. I have no idea. I kind of like the Tim Burton one, but the Tim Burton Batman films, they were okay. I'm just talking about all kind of bullshit today, aren't I? So this is a fun little comic book, Looney Tunes, Roadrunner. So I don't know about the history of the Roadrunner. If anybody knows, comment. I don't know. I guess this was originally a TV show, like the other Warner Brothers cartoons, like Bugs Bunny and all them played at movie theaters, but like little shorts before movies. I think the Roadrunner, Beep Beep, the Roadrunner was actually a TV show first.